Thank you, Danny. Today, authorities continue their search for a missing Dardanelle mom and her 6-week-old baby. Ashlynn Bocksnick was last seen on camera parking near the Arkansas River, believed to have been suicidal. Dardanelle police say this has been being treated as a missing persons case. Authorities have Bocksnick's phone and are working to get more surveillance footage to confirm some of the details they've been working with so far. In Sallisaw, Oklahoma, troopers are investigating a deadly four-wheeler crash. This happened east of Sallisaw on Monday, with troopers sharing Saturday that a 12-year-old died. The four-wheeler was hit by an SUV, according to the report. One other person in the SUV was also hurt. Well, Arcoma's town council set to meet to discuss questions surrounding the police department leadership. It comes after the Board of Trustees voted to place the police chief and the assistant police chief on paid leave amid undisclosed grievances. The meeting agenda is expected to include decisions about those positions. That will be at Town Hall tomorrow evening at 7. Of course, we're coming off a big celebration this weekend, and you might have some leftover fireworks sitting around. 5 News reporter Claire Everbach shares the best way to safely dispose of both used and unused fireworks.
You've probably heard of the best way to dispose of a used firework. It's to soak it in a bucket of water for at least 15 minutes and ideally overnight to reduce fire risk. But you should also do the same thing even if your fireworks are unused. CBS News reports unused fireworks should be soaked for 12 to 24 hours before you throw them away. After that, seal them in a plastic bag to keep them damp, then double bag them before putting them in your regular trash. If you'd rather save them for next year, store them in a cool, dry place like a garage and keep them in an airtight plastic bin. Whether they've been used or are still in the package, if you are throwing them away, soaking them first is the best way to reduce the fire risk.
I've personally been on that call early in the morning, right after the 4th of July, and it catches the side of the house on fire and up into the attic it goes, and you have a working structure fire. So it's a recipe for disaster. Best thing you can do is soak the fireworks overnight.
If you're planning to use your fireworks for another celebration or even save them for the 4th of July next year, some firework websites say that if they're stored properly, they can last up to 3 to 5 years. Once you hit the 10-year mark, though, it is best to throw them away as they can pose more of a fire risk. In Springdale, covering news where you live, Claire Everbach, 5 News.
Thank you, Claire. Well, today we're taking a look at a new app from an Arkansas man that's designed to connect people with local lawmakers and government activity. The Handy Dandy Voter app launched globally on July 4th. It allows users to track legislation and government actions and learn about candidates who are running for office. The founder, Paul Cummings, says he wants to increase civic engagement. He also says he's worked on developing this app for the past year and a half. Well, today the Springdale Library is back open after it closed temporarily due to bed bug activity. The library says the pests were found Tuesday in at least 14 of the chairs. Those were in the library gallery and in the quiet reading area overlooking Murphy Park. The facility was deep cleaned and professionally treated over the holiday weekend, and now the library will receive weekly professional bed bug inspections for the near future. Well, today, applications for the 2026 Summer Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program are officially open. LIHEAP provides assistance with electricity bills for income-eligible residents in all counties within Arkansas. Depending on where you live, you'll apply to that area's program. Funds are limited to those behind the program say if you are in need of assistance, you should apply early. Well, the 4th of July weekend turned deadly in several U.S. cities. Authorities say holiday shootings left dozens dead or injured nationwide. In Fort Wayne, Indiana, 1 woman was killed and 8 others were injured. In a shooting in New York, police say multiple people, including children, were shot during a family gathering. Officials in Pensacola, Florida, report a teen takeover event ended in gunfire that left 1 man dead and several others injured. Investigations are also underway in Phoenix and Memphis following additional shootings.
We saw numerous people on the ground suffering from gunshot wounds, so officers immediately began providing first aid.
Experts say summer heat may contribute to higher levels of anger and violence, with recent heat waves setting record temperatures. Well, today in Utah, the man accused of assassinating Charlie Kirk will be in court for a critical hearing. Prosecutors say investigators recovered a rifle wrapped in a towel near the campus where Kirk was shot, and Tyler Robinson turned himself in the next day. Prosecutors are expected to share that evidence again this week. They also say Robinson confessed to his roommate with a note saying, quote, "I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and I'm going to take it." Legal analysts say the hearing will focus on if this case can move forward.
I think it's very likely that there is enough there for the prosecution to convince a judge that there is probable cause that Robinson committed these crimes.
Charlie Kirk's parents and his widow, Erica Kirk, are all expected to attend the week-long hearing. Tyler Robinson has not yet entered a plea. President Trump heads to Turkey tonight for a NATO summit where talks are expected to focus on the conflicts involving Iran and Ukraine. The trip comes after his renewed criticism of NATO allies over defense spending. Bradley Blackburn has more.
Soon, President Trump will depart for the NATO summit in Turkey, less than a week after he warned on social media it would be ridiculous for the U.S. to continue supporting the alliance at current funding levels.
They agreed 6 months ago when we were together to pay 5%, and for the most part, they're not paying.
Germany countered it is doubling defense spending. This as the president renews his push to end Russia's war with Ukraine. He held separate calls Sunday with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky and Russian President Vladimir Putin. And a U.S. official says the president will meet with Zelensky at the NATO summit. Overnight, Russia launched a deadly attack on Ukraine's capital, Kyiv, just hours after Zelensky had warned Russia was preparing for new strikes. The U.S. war with Iran is also expected to be a big topic at the summit. The president again claimed victory in his July 4th speech.
You look at Iran, we wiped it out.
Peace talks are paused as Iran holds massive days-long funeral ceremonies for its deceased former supreme leader, killed by U.S. and Israeli strikes at the beginning of the war. Back home, sources confirm President Trump called the head of FIFA to discuss the controversial World Cup red card and suspension of top U.S. men's scorer Flo Balogun. Sunday, the sports body announced that Balogun's ban would be lifted, making him eligible to play in tonight's match against Belgium, drawing anger from the Belgian team and its fans. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.